You know, every couple dreams of that perfect romantic getaway. But what happens when that dream trip accidentally leads you down a road to a place that's hiding a horrifying secret? Today we're diving into a really chilling tale from Kuni Monday about a village called Rudrapur and a love story that takes a sharp turn into a supernatural nightmare.
Just imagine hearing those words whispered in an absolute panic. It's this cryptic warning from a total stranger who just appears out of thin air and then disappears just as fast. This is the exact moment a romantic trip twists into a desperate race for survival. And this, right here, is where the nightmare really kicks off. So our story starts with what they call the ominous journey. It was supposed to be a perfect birthday trip, but the warning signs were there right from the beginning. So let's get to know the two people at the absolute heart of this tragedy.
So on one hand, you've got Arav. He's a photographer, a romantic, and all he wants is this quiet, special trip with his girlfriend, Nisha. And then you have Nisha. She's a writer, and she is just drawn to all things mysterious and kind of macabre. And right there, that's the core tension of our story, isn't it? He wants romance. She's fascinated by ruins and spooky tales. And it's her fascination that is about to lead them, completely unknowingly, straight into danger. So, about 2 hours into their drive, they come across this village called Rudrapur. Now, the name alone should have been a massive red flag. In Hindi, Rudhir literally means blood. So without even realizing it, they had just driven into the village of blood. And I mean, the second they drive into this village, the entire atmosphere just shifts. The fun, romantic road trip is officially over. It's like they've literally crossed the line into some other world. A place that's run by these dark, unseen rules. And this just paints an incredibly creepy picture. Get this, it's only 6 p.m., but the whole village is silent, completely empty. Every single house has a burning torch outside its door, and every door is painted this deep, blood-red color, and then covered in these strange mantras written in black. You just get this feeling, deep in your gut, that you are not supposed to be there. Of course, Arav, being a photographer, he just can't resist. He has to get out of the car and capture this eerie scene. And folks, this is the big mistake. This is the moment they get noticed by whatever is lurking in Rudrapur. Out of nowhere, this old woman, dressed in red bridal clothes, appears right in front of him, and she gives him that frantic warning we heard at the start. And before he can even wrap his head around what she just said, poof, she's gone, vanished into thin air. So he turns back toward the car and his heart just plummets. Nisha's not in her seat. Instead, he sees her, off in the distance, walking away, holding the hand of a groom in traditional wedding clothes. But the groom's face is totally covered, and his hand, get this, his hand is just dripping with blood. Arav screams her name, totally panicking, and then suddenly, Nisha's right there behind him, acting completely normal, asking what's wrong. He whips his head back, and the phantom groom and his version of Nisha are just gone. So, what just happened? Was it real? Was he just seeing things? Or was that some kind of awful, terrifying preview of what's to come? All right, so next up, the ghost in the camera. See, Arav tries to shake off what he saw, and for a little while, as they're setting up their camp, things almost feel normal again. But the horror isn't just in his head. Oh no, it's about to be captured on film. So they're at the campsite, the fire's going, the mood is light. Nisha, who has no idea about the vision Arav just had, asks him to take some pretty pictures of her. It seems like such an innocent, normal moment, right? But this simple request is about to unleash a whole new level of terror. Arav lifts his camera, snap, takes the first shot. But when he looks down at the little screen, his heart just stops. Standing right behind Nisha is that same phantom groom. He's in denial, right? So he keeps taking pictures, but with every single click, that thing appears closer and closer to her. Okay, but this is the part that is absolutely terrifying. When a really worried Arav shows the pictures to Nisha, she sees nothing wrong. To her, they're just these beautiful pictures of herself by the fire. The ghost is only visible to Arav. He's trapped in this horror that only he can see. He can't prove it, he can't even explain it. He's totally alone in this. So, later that night, he obviously can't sleep, and he starts flipping through the photos he took back in the village, and the horror just goes from bad to worse. The phantom groom isn't just haunting them. He is in every single picture,
standing silently outside every single one of those blood-red doors. This thing isn't just following them, it belongs to this entire cursed place.
Which brings us to the haunted mansion. The next day, they're just desperate for answers and want to escape this growing dread when they see it on their way back from a hike, this huge mansion all lit up like it's hosting a massive party. Everything in their body is probably screaming, "Don't go in there," but they feel like they have to know what's going on. They have to know what's going on.
The inside is just bizarre. There's a massive feast laid out on all these silver platters, but there's not a single person there. And the smell? This awful, sickly sweet smell of dead flowers is everywhere. And then, just as they're taking it all in, slam! The huge doors just slam shut behind them. Yep, they're trapped. And then he appears. The phantom groom starts walking down the grand staircase. And in that same instant, you see Nisha's eyes just roll back, turning completely white. She's not herself anymore. She's moving like a puppet on a string, just walking towards him, and there's nothing Aarav can do.
Aarav is just frozen, absolutely paralyzed with fear. He's forced to watch as this thing performs a twisted wedding ritual, placing a garland around Nisha's neck. The groom then reveals this horrifying half-dead face, and then, right before his eyes, they both just dissolve into this swirl of black smoke, and they're gone.
And just like that, the mansion doors swing open. But it's not a grand hall anymore. It's just a dark, dusty ruin. Aarav is left completely alone. He's frantic. He runs back to the village, just desperate for any kind of explanation. And that's when he finds her again, the old woman.
He just collapses in front of her, and she finally reveals the truth. We finally get the whole horrifying backstory of this place. The whole curse of Rudrapur is finally laid bare.
So here's the horrifying truth. Years ago, there was this monstrous landowner, a zamindar, who lived in that mansion. He would forcibly marry and then sacrifice a young woman on every single new moon to gain dark powers. Well, the villagers finally had enough, and they rose up and burned him alive inside his own home. But his evil spirit was too strong. It stayed behind, cursed to wait in the mansion for a new bride. And tonight, guess what night it was? It was the new moon.
And then the old woman delivers the final, absolutely soul-crushing blow with these words. Nisha was the one it chose. She has become the new bride of the mansion's malevolent spirit, and there is no coming back from that. Aarav is left completely broken, with the realization that his romantic trip led the woman he loves right into this unthinkable, horrifying fate. The story ends with Aarav's despair. But the curse is still there, and it leaves us with one final, chilling question to think about. The ghost has claimed its bride for this new moon, but the cycle is set to repeat. The mansion's hunger has been fed, for now. But it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? The curse isn't broken. So, when the next new moon comes, who's next?